Ancient Rome was a magnificent city with many impressive public buildings, such as this one, Trajan's Forum. It had incredible statues, and it was an area where Roman citizens would visit basically to get the news. A public forum. So there'd be community meetings would be held here where citizens could discuss topics and issues. But they could also visit here to get news, as they didn't have internet and TV like we do now. Good afternoon, class. As we continue to put on our historian hats and learn about ancient Rome, virtual Minecraft tours will be provided to help you connect, learn concepts, and information. For those who can connect to this virtual Minecraft world, upcoming activities will include 1. An ancient Roman treasure hunt. 2. Ancient Rome fun, including Colosseum and Circus Maximus exploration and events. 3. Roman school activity. 4. Trajan's market activity. And that should say 5. A day at the public baths. And 6. Reconstruction efforts. Here I am just telling you that Trajan's Forum was a place for public meetings, current news, and recreation. Ancient Rome had apartment buildings that were often very small for less wealthy citizens, although many citizens with a great deal of money would own both an apartment building in the city that they could stay at when attending fun events, and also a country villa home, which was often a lot bigger, more private, where they would go when there weren't big events going on in the city. Ancient Rome had many public buildings. Another famous one was Trajan's Market, and this was basically like an outdoor mall where citizens would go to shop and get all sorts of different goods and services. Much like ancient Greece, ancient Rome had religious buildings, temples, and don't forget, when they were polytheistic, they basically copied ancient Greece's gods and renamed gods such as Zeus, gave him a new name, Jupiter. They named Poseidon Neptune and did the same thing for many other gods. They also had a religious temple that was dedicated to all the gods. Probably two of ancient Rome's most impressive buildings would have to be the Roman Colosseum, by far the most famous and still standing to this day. There's a cool gladiator statue. This actually looks pretty accurate in terms of how it would have looked in ancient times. And gladiators would fight in this arena for the pleasure of many citizens, and I'll give you more information about the Colosseum in an upcoming video that will coincide with an article. Palatine Hill was the hill where the emperor's palace was located, and actually had an underground passage that went all the way to the Colosseum. Another really cool ancient Roman activity was to attend the Circus Maximus, which was horse races. It was actually bigger than the Colosseum based on length and the amount of land that it took up. But because it was more open, there's very little standing to this day. That's basically a giant open field, unlike the Colosseum, which is largely intact. Of course, they would have stables nearby. for horses. As you saw in the video the other week, one of ancient Rome's greatest accomplishments was developing aqueducts, which were basically a water pipe system. And there'd be pipes that would come from the mountainside bringing fresh water to the city. And the aqueducts were essentially arches that would allow the pipes to travel up over areas that weren't easy to build in. They would actually go right through mountains in many cases as well, the pipes themselves. But the aqueducts were used to bring fresh water to the city of Rome for the purposes such as public baths, like you see here, and just to have running water in the city. They did have very, very elaborate public baths, which were basically like today's spas and whatnot. As you can see here, this is a sauna. Take a few minutes to sit back and relax. So Roman citizens would often take a day at the baths. And again, they were extremely, extremely elaborate. Of course, this is one way that ancient Rome has influenced today's modern day world. But anyhow, this is the introduction to ancient Rome, and you will continue to learn about this magnificent ancient civilization. So tune in next time for more information, and be sure to complete the very simple assignments on Google Classroom. Have a great week.